Oh, did that happen? That was the big hype. That was an hour 15 minutes of my life I could have used for anything else or actually sleeping. I half the time through this reveal, direct, whatever you want to call it, I was practically ready to sleep anyways. Um, let me back that up with some things. If anybody's even watching before or after the point, PlayStation 5. I watched the entire stream, and not a lot of it appeals to me, at least at the current time that I watched it. The design of it, it's a bit better than the PS4. The PS4 is a slab. It's loud. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my copy. I don't know if it's everybody's copy, but mine is loud. Every time that I run it, the fan is running like crazy, and I've like aired out the thing multiple times, making sure it's not like incredibly dusty or anything. But still, I'm not sure about that. And I think I talked about that before on video. I don't remember if it was on this channel or another channel. But okay, so this one is standing upright. I'm pretty sure it's only going to be upright. I've only found out recently that the PS4 can only be laid down. Can't really sit it upright, even though there is a stand for it. There is a venting problem or something to that effect that I've learned, where some things get blocked. So it's advisable by Sony, don't lay it, or yeah, don't sit it upright. It's like that. I've already been moving stuff around. I actually thought that might be helpful, but apparently, nope, we're not doing that. So, games. GTA 5 again. It literally has almost the same mellow response for me. What? Let's just do this. Let's pop over. Why not? So now I got the Instagram-averse popped up. And you can see we're just halfway laying in bed because the PS5 reveal, excuse me, was just blah. It was just a lot of nothing for me personally. I'm sure there are a lot of things that other people were excited about. I just have no experience or knowledge with. There's so many games out at the same time that I can't focus on them. Even in a single generation of consoles, there's a handful of games that actually appeal to me and will be able to get through before the next console generation. Very few times does that actually happen. There we got people trending on Instagram because I'm actually doing a bit of this on YouTube as well, for the record. But anywho, welcome everybody from Instagram. We got a Motoro 41, Brick Blaze. I was just watching on his stream, and Bricks O'Brien's simultaneously. Funny thing with that, the lag was just off enough that I was still able to catch everyone's opinions. Like, they weren't interrupting each other. That was amazing. More human than human after all. We got a Vision Bricks. I just saw you on Bricks O'Brien, and my wallet's gonna be hurting. Yeah, okay. Vision Bricks, just doing the hand. And we got a Marinus Wolf and Blackwood Lego. Nice. So I talked about it with Brick Blaze already, but a lot of these games, I'm not familiar with the franchises personally. I know that some have been around for a while. There are other ones I didn't know were around as long, and Brick Blaze actually gave me some good information about those. That was helpful. So I know there are dedicated fans out there that like seeing something new added on, and I do appreciate when there are new stuff coming out. There were definitely some interesting things from brand new games. I do not remember any names, so you're going to have to help me out on that because I don't remember a thing for names of the different series that were shown today, or very few of them, I should say. I don't I don't know how to feel about a physical CD-based console and a digital one separate from each other. I'm sure the CD1 can still do digital stuff, but to have one that's digital only doesn't feel right. I'm still, I mean, we're already a couple generations in for video game consoles. If you count from, I guess, the Wii, Xbox 360, PS2, no, PS3 era onwards, couple generations in of having virtual downloadable versions of games and physical CD or cartridge based versions of games. I'm still back and forth on that. I still need to. I would love to get this together in its own video package deal and say how I felt about it over time. I've only recently stepped into the digital realm when it comes to like one or two things on the Wii, which were just virtual console stuff. So I could still find them elsewhere. It wasn't an exclusive. Um, I would say long after that, anything digital wise, up to about the Switch and PS4 and Xbox One. So I still the problem that I have with digital is the fact that it's not that I always have to have it in hand, but the fact that you have it in hand as opposed to a thing that could expire, something that I could always play in hand that's good, but a digital one, if you lose it on there, at some point you're not going to get it back. You know, when the system retires. I had that with the Wii. The original Wii console that I owned, it had some kind of lock for the account on it or something like that. So you couldn't transfer a lot of things in between from one system to another, especially when it came to games. So it's not like I had an account or something and I could sign out of that, sign on with another Wii, and be able to re-download those games. That was not a thing. I totally get if they're trying to avoid piracy. But because of that, my Wii stopped working at some point. I couldn't redeem those games and lost a bunch of stuff. And possibly lost a copy of Wind Waker. I'm not sure, but that's the theory I've been going with for a while because the CD was gone at some point. And yeah. So I'm always worried about the digital games because and also with servers. That's something I actually was doing recently with games over on the Xbox 360. I was trying to update a couple of games, but the servers were down or no longer exist, and therefore those games kind of sit in limbo. I mean, I could still play them, but they're not going to be as advanced as their discontinuation. Specifically, I think they were at the Rock Band and Guitar Hero kind of games, where like the Rock Band games had a thing where it's like, oh, if you enter this code from each of the games, you can use that in a later copy to like keep a full library of one game. That's brilliant. I've always wanted to do that, but every time I've tried it, servers don't exist anymore, or the codes don't work. And I know these are very specific examples, and they probably don't apply as much for a lot of games after that, and even what's coming out next. But I would rather stick to something that I know I could just insert the game and always be able to like exchange it that way. Even with the PS4 right now, 500 gigabytes is nothing. I didn't realize that it was going to be so eaten up fast, with all kinds of I don't know if it's because the games are installed on there or save data, whatever the case may be. But now 500 gigs, which used to be just mind-blowingly huge for a memory, is very small because a lot of games are very expensive now. So yeah. As far as any of the games that were there that I did like, silver lining here, I thought the Spider-Man one looked good. Spider-Man Miles Morales, I do like that. I haven't played through all of Spider-Man PS4 yet, but I do own it. I've enjoyed what I've played of it so far, and I wouldn't mind a Miles Morales sequel. Is it a sequel? Is it another universe? More is good. What was it? Destruction Derby, Destruction something, Destruction All Stars. That's it. Seems like a fun romp. It definitely has a lot of Rocket League inspiration. A little bit of Fortnite inspiration on the characters, very trendy looking. As Brooks O'Brien said, the loot boxes write themselves. So yeah, it could easily be a super cosmetic thing, which could be cool. But yeah, I don't mind a demolition derby like that every once in a while. I forget the other games, but there was one that was like very, I think it was a Horizon game or something that had like a cool graphic or something that I saw at one point that was like, okay, yeah, that made me look up to it a little bit. It was like a hologram or something. I like the reveal for Resident Evil 8 more than the trailer before it. Like 9 times out of 10, most of these games, for me personally, again, you're probably gonna hate this. 9 times out of 10, most of them were dark. Like not thematically dark. That's okay to an extent, but actually physically dark. I couldn't make out most of the other stuff that was going on, or from each other what was going on, because they all had that dark atmosphere. It's like, oh, we're building up mystery, everybody at once. It doesn't work. Again, this probably plays some more to the kind of games that I've been exposed to or have played. There are plenty of them I just know of, but have not really experienced or watched gameplay or anything like that. So I may be grumpy for for that reason. Let's head out in the chat. As Godly Gamer Joey. Oh, hold on. Bolo, you have the best hashtags for these Q&As. And they are so ridiculous. I have to highlight those. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, did you like the Death Loop reveal? That's the one with like everything was in orange, right? I think so. I like the style. I like the presentation, but I don't remember much from the game itself. And I'm not sure. Or is it that? Or is it the other one with the old lady? That one I liked. That one I kind of liked. I thought that was a cool change of pace, at least for the main character. Plot, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I missed a couple other comments in here. Well, I'll go forever. Hey, is that Joey? What happened? I didn't watch any. I didn't watch it. Any interesting games announced? For me personally, there weren't a lot of interesting games announced. I know there was a Sackboy, Little Big Planet related game that is coming out. But again, I haven't played Little Big Planet. I just know a lot of people like it. I know it's a co-op game. I know it's something that's somewhat kid-friendly, but still a lot of adults really enjoy the style of it. I'm sure I could get into that at some point. I am just... This is the problem that I have with E3 and Nintendo Direct and all of these like showcase video game conference video things, whatever you want to call the whole mess of them. No matter when they come out, and for the past couple of years, as I've been watching these, 9 times out of 10, there's one or two things that actually grab my attention. There's not too many times where it surprises me, like out of the blue, and the rest of it, I almost never come to. Even the ones that I am interested in, I take a while to get to. It's not like, oh, now it's a day one purchase for me. No, that never really happens. For reference, I usually go into the next generation like a year or two after everybody else is into it, or halfway through the lifespan of it. So you won't see a PS5 from me. Sorry, not on launch date. Nope, cannot go into that. I have a lot to catch up on though. Xbox One had all digital digit. It did? I don't remember that. I'm not sure. Is that the Xbox One Series X? Is that what they're referring to? Because I thought that was a CD thing. I'm not sure. A lot of these types of video conferences just kind of highlight the fact that I do play video games, but I play in a very niche category compared to everything that's going on. And I know they're trying to have a lot of wide appeal. but I almost miss the mark every single time. So it just makes me feel less of an informed gamer in the sphere. And I talk with people about it in all different ways, whether it's on YouTube or social media or people that I am friends with in real life, and having, like, at least when video game stores are open, having conversations there or conventions. And it just makes me feel like I'm just sitting in the back burner. Like, I already know for a long time that I'm a casual gamer. I just didn't know that I was a very small casual gamer. I'm not asking to be the big man on the playground, but it's a lot for me to get into these. A lot for me to get involved and educated and have some experience behind it. We just finished watching Mr. Terry's reaction to it. What are your thoughts? Ask Godly Gamer Joey, did you like the RE reveal? Yes, I did. I liked the reveal of the title. I thought that was very clever. It was just like the Resident 7 reveal. I thought that was actually very cool to show that up. Because up to that point, it didn't look straight out Resident Evil related from what I saw in the rest of the chat. So that was cool. Xbox One S came with an all-digital edition, I believe, after the Xbox One S came out. Okay, so I didn't really look into the One S. I thought it was just a little bit of an upgrade, but I didn't know it was an all-digital version. Don't blame me for not knowing. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on the Hitman 3 reveal? I've never played a Hitman game. I don't really have interest in the Hitman games right now. It looks fine. All right, so to the Instagram. If anyone's still watching at this point, because I'm like, I sound like I'm not pleased, or I'm not going to be worth talking to. Still looking to see what games are happening for the Series X. Okay, Joey's nap time. Yeah, I was just been sitting here because it's just nice and cozy. I'm just relaxing, and was trying to edit videos earlier, but that didn't work out. And I was like, you know what? Now I can actually make the joke. Hey, I could have slept on this and looked at everything afterward. Always been a physical kind of guy. That's why the reason I prefer DVD still. Yep, I agree. BB2 would say so. Yep. Itakin, okay. 07, Trevor, nice to see you. If you're broadcasting from bed, shouldn't you be surrounded by PB? What is a PB bunny? Pink, blue? What I don't know what PB stands for. I actually don't keep any plushes in my bed outside of things like this, and that's mostly just as a pillow and a buffer on the edge of the bed, because for some reason there's a gap on the far side near my wall, and it's like I gotta fill that in with a pillow or something. I've dropped my phone there several times while editing, while doing other stuff, and it's like I do not want to keep digging under the bed, fetching it again. That's just not fun. Got a Meme Gomez 2001. How's it going? A lot of dark games, yeah. And I'm not just saying out of this generation. I'm saying even previous generations have had a lot of dark games thematically or visually. But it didn't feel like it was all at once, like in this reveal. Like in other E3s and other conferences and things like that, it felt like there was a better mix of them. It wasn't like 90% dark games. Cy O'Connor, how's it going? And Sandra Eno, how's it going? Ask Godly Gamer Joey, can you tell Trevor that I said hi? So Bolo says hi from YouTube to Trevor that's on Instagram. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what's the first Lego game that's going to be in the PlayStation 5? I would imagine it would either be a port of an existing Lego game like Lego Worlds, or a brand new game that would be multi-platform. Nothing was revealed as far as a Lego video game. Nothing's been said so far about one. Maybe Skywalker Saga, because it's already coming out later in the year already, and the PS5 is coming out later in the year. That would make sense. That would be a good one. I'm not familiar with release release games over the years, if Lego has ever been always that close to like a launch date. If anything, I can think of maybe one or two, but that was a long time ago. I don't think there's anything recent for that. Maybe City Undercover for the Switch. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm not a source on that. I'm not a gaming guru the way that I'm a Lego guru. Lego, haha. Long time ago. That. I ought to go forever. Xbox Series S, X, or PS5. I'm sure Lego games at this point don't really have a lot of exclusivity, like console-wise. The last time we really majorly saw that was on the Wii U for Lego City Undercover. But eventually, that made its way over to the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and other subsequent consoles. That way. So if they did anything with the PS5, they would do it with the Xbox Series X. They would do it with the Switch. Lego Dimensions, they did on every current console and the Xbox 360 and the PS3, which would have been the previous generation. But everything in between then, there's been a whole bunch of other Lego games in between. For console releases, they do them all across the board. They wouldn't. They don't have any real exclusive ones in between then, unless you count like the handheld ones being more exclusive because it's a different way they're set up. But it's a handheld. That's always gonna be that way. There are very rare times where you're gonna see a handheld play as well as the console version, and with the Switch, you have technically both. It is a handheld and a portable console. It's a hybrid. It's amazing. I love it. That being said, I need to get back into a bunch of it. I think the last time I was playing like a couple hours of Rocket League on there. That was fun. That was a good time. I got to also do some rewiring for the games that are in this room. And I also want to look through the Xbox One compatibility list because I would love to try some of those on stream. Since I don't have a lot of Xbox One games currently, but I do have a lot that are compatible with it, I would love to bring them over. So maybe you'll see me on Twitch. I already got a Twitch. I gotta do more with it. Fall Collector, how's it going? Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your opinions on Horizon 2? It looks fine. I forget if that was the one that had like the holographic dragon in part of the trailer. That was cool. I don't know anything about Horizon, so sorry, this is boring. I didn't expect this to be 23 minutes long. I was actually hoping this to be like a quick thing. It was fine, but it's not for me. I don't like the separation of hardware right out the gate. You guys remember Google Stadia? That happened. Does that count as a console? Because I remember watching the announcement for it, and then it launched, and it just felt quiet. I don't remember people really getting invested into it, or very few that were actually seeing like what this was supposed to be like. Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS5 is I joked about it on the stream, the other streams that I was watching during the reveal. I joked that it was Grand Theft Auto 5 Part 2. They're just adding more stuff into it, but they're not making a new game out of it. It's just a bonus. It's like a deluxe or something like that. Which reminds me of how Skyrim was so heavily ported to a whole other generation of consoles. It's like, is there more to it? I haven't played Skyrim, by the way, so I have no idea. I've always been looking into it, but I never actually went through it. So I didn't really understand all the memes, but I just knew it was a highly popular game for a long time. And maybe even still popular. I'm not sure. I am kind of disappointed right now that I can't play Minecraft on the Xbox One like backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 version because it's like, but you own it. You're Microsoft. You just need us to buy the new copy though. That's how it goes. As Godly Gamer Joey, did you get Stadia? No, I did not. There were very few games that intrigued me on that. I don't know if you already heard what the rant I had earlier about digital consoles. You probably don't want to hear what I had to say about the Stadia, which is basically a digital console. It's about streaming the games, or have a dedicated hardware version of it. Bolo, without the Ask Godly Gamer Joey. Wow, okay. I'll still answer the question. Are you a PC gamer? There we go. We immediately added it in afterwards. Are you a PC gamer? Not really. I mean, when I was younger, I played a lot of PC games because they were just accessible. It was some of them the only exclusive ways of playing them. But I'm talking like Windows 98, Windows 95, Windows XP, that far back. And even as such, it wasn't like there was no online play really. The closest that I had online was through LAN, local area network, for like 2 or 3 games. And I only know of one of those that is now available on Steam. And I do have a bunch of games on Steam, but I don't play it as frequently as I play on a console because I use my computer for so many other things. That said, I'd love to play some of them. Even if I have them in the library, I'd love to play more of them at some point, whether or not on stream. I love the concept of Duck Game. I love playing through some of that every so often. I loved The Amazing Frog, another fun game to roam around, complete silliness. But I do not play PC very often. Stadia is kind of garbage. Let's see. Today, rest day. It's a rest day for me because the PS5 was just from me personally. Again, I know a lot of people like stuff. I know there's going to be a lot of hype. I can wait. Let's put it that way. I can wait. What was the next question? Bionicle Forever. Ask Godly Gamer Joe. He put the hashtag in. Do you collect DVDs, movies, and TV shows the same way you collect video games? Yes. I have a whole bunch. I have a whole rack in this room for DVDs just based on Lego material. I have VHS tapes of some of the Lego material and DVD copies as well. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them might be on Blu-ray as well. I can't remember. Because I know at one time I bought Blu-ray by accident. I exchanged it for the DVD copy. And then I had a PS4, which plays Blu-ray. So it's like, okay, I guess I could do that. And then I got a PS3. It also plays Blu-ray. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. If I get that by accident, it's fine now. Ben, how's it going on Instagram? I have all of Avatar: The Last Airbender on DVD. I was picking those up as they were coming out. So they're all like the volume sets of them. There's no box set that I have of them except for, I think, season 3. That season I didn't get until much later after the show ended, but I still watched it. I still watched it at the time. But sometime later I got season 3 entirely as a box set on its own or something. I do that with TV shows. I do that with movies. For movies, if there's a movie in the theater that I want to see, I'll go ahead and see it, like Sonic or something like that. And sometimes I'll rate a movie based on rewatchability. Like, okay, this might have been fun in the theater, but I may not care to see it again at home or anywhere else. It might have just been, one and done deal, good enough on one screen just to see what it was like, but I don't need to really watch it again. Scoob was that kind of case, except it wasn't at the theater, it was at home. That's $20 I'll never get again. I don't think I did a rant about Scoob. I may have thrown 1 or 2 comments on Twitter. Twitter is kind of like a stream of consciousness. a lot of stuff going on there, so it's probably easily lost. There's some things good about Scoob, but it was an okay movie overall for me. Let's see, but yeah, there are definitely some that I will. Like highest regards is if I want to buy a DVD, Blu-ray copy of it so I can watch it again at my own time. I don't have any streaming services right now. I occasionally have used Netflix in the past, maybe Hulu. I think my sister uses Hulu or something like that. But I personally don't use streaming for shows unless it's an exclusive and it's like, well, I guess I gotta. So I haven't watched a Bionicle Netflix show, even though I was a Bionicle fan, even though I wanted the story for 2015, 2016. I didn't have Netflix at the time. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, do you play MC? I'm assuming you mean Minecraft. Yeah, I used to play Minecraft a long time ago. I actually had video of it, and if I haven't published that, then I'm going to republish that on YouTube. They weren't exciting. They weren't trimmed down. They're straight up 10, 15 minutes of a session of Minecraft, at a time. And it wasn't very progressive. I didn't really get that far in it as far as materials or tools. It just kind of had a lot of redundancy, a lot of respawning. So I didn't think that was worth recording for gameplay. I would still play it again. I've actually wanted to get back into it again recently, along with everyone else. I have no idea if I'm going to do it on stream or otherwise, but if I could set that up, that would be cool. Because I actually would like to try to do more with it. I probably could do better with it now. Having seen a lot more Minecraft gameplay over time and learning from my mistakes. Is that Joey in bed? Deppy, it ain't the first time. There was a whole video where I announced about a brick-based waffle that was that I recorded just like this, basically. Because I thought it would be funny because it's like morning and breakfast and something that I literally woke up and somebody forwarded to me. But yeah, it's fine. It happens. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, do you have Steam? Yes, I do, but I don't really play online, and like I said earlier, I don't play that often. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, will you join Shrimpy's Minecraft server? I might have Minecraft on PC as well as Xbox 360. I don't remember which. I don't remember where each of them last left off. Like if one was, I know one was more progressive than the other, but I don't remember how far I got in either one of them. All I know is one of them I got Lapis Lazuli, maybe Diamond at best, but not really developed a good system. I had in my head. I used to have notes jotted down of what I would like to do in Minecraft, but that never really turned out. I've always wanted to develop the survival mode. I've always wanted to develop a universal track system for both rails for minecarts and for boats to connect every body of water, every natural body of water in the world together to make a steady path through, and then have same thing with minecarts. So that way, if I need to travel from one place to another, I know where to go. I don't have to worry about walking as much as other things. And I would actually have certain mining houses set up on different points in the map, so I would know where to find more resources. Like dig for a couple stuff, plant around for a small house out of dirt or something, advance it later with different tools. It has a tool chest to go back for materials, whatever the case may be. Barely got that done in either version of it. I think I've actually played Minecraft on iPod, before playing PC, just to test it out, just to try it out. I think it was a demo or something, but it's not something I would pick up again. Michael Samario 17, how's it going? We got a Trickleton. Sorry, mispronounced that. Hashtag Ask Godly Gamer Joey, have you ever emulated games? I've wanted to. There are a couple older games I would love to emulate if I could. I'm not familiar with a lot of the tech involved with that or the software involved with that to really do it successfully. There are some older games I've tried to play on newer PCs in the compatibility mode or something like that, but it would often crash before I even got any progress in the game or just after the start menu or something like that. So it never fully felt like I emulated anything. Some of the PC games I mentioned earlier were just that case, where I had no way of actually getting through them. As God the Gamer Joey, are you interested in joining Shrimpy's Minecraft tournament? I saw about the Minecraft tournament. I don't know if I'm good enough for it. The same thing as BioCup. Like, I know BioCup has been going on now, and I've only seen a handful of mocks from it from the Bionicle fan community, but I don't think I'm skilled enough to go into it. I know I'm sure that both of them are in their own ways welcoming, but for me, I haven't really experienced either one in so long that it's basically fresh off the boat territory for me. It would just not work out. It's okay. It's just casuals. Okay. I think I'd still got to read over what's involved with it. Because I know he sent me a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I have to figure that out. I'm going to close the Instagram one first. Thanks for joining PS5. It's not for me right now. I can wait on it. And the games seem okay to whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed them during the reveal. And bring it over to YouTube. There we go. Delete. I would have to really keep that on Instagram because, first of all, I got it here on YouTube. And second of all, it's me sitting vertically, laying vertically. Did they say how much a PS5 would cost? Nope. They did not talk about the PS5 cost or release date. All we know is that there are PS5 games coming out in 2020. It is coming out sometime later this year. No idea what day or month. And I kind of think that in the method of consoles right now, $200 is kind of expected. $300 can be expected. I would imagine that between the PS5 hard drive or disc-based version and the digital version, there are going to be some changes. Like the digital one, I could easily see being more storage capacity because it needs a lot more for, downloading the games. So it could be basically like a PS Pro or PS4 Pro, maybe $400, maybe more. That's okay if you forgot it. I was fine with it. But Bolo, you saw what I said after yesterday's stream or during yesterday's stream, right? You want to do more Q&A stuff that isn't on live stream? I can do that. I would be happy to do a Q&A series, answering questions, on video at any time, whether or not I'm on stream. Anything more than $5, I'm out. Well, yeah, they're definitely not going to sell the console, a brand new console that's supposed to have updated everything, around $5. So that's funny. Hashtag that's Godly Gamer Joey. That is that is a fun thing that you guys came up with, and I appreciate that. Even though I would not look, you want to see me actually play video games. I've wanted to get back to playing them like regularly because every once in a while I play them now. It's like, okay, I'll spend this one day a week playing a game for 3 hours or so and then never touch another game for like 2 or 3 months or what it feels like. I don't know. Quarantine time is weird time, so I don't know when. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, do you think the PS5 will cost around $530? Probably. I could see that. I mean, The digital one, I think, is going to be the more expensive one because it's going to need more for the hard drive. It's going to need more, like, to run that system. That said, it doesn't need as much hardware in order to construct the system, you know? So it might run a bit smoother than the disk version, where it's like, okay, if everything's being read off of the disk and you have an extra amount of plastic and material, whatever, to make that as part of the system, that's going to cost a bit more. But is it really going to be that much? Is it really going to add a lot more to it? I'm fine with laptops discontinuing a disk system because there are plenty of ways around that. Video games, I feel, they've been running discs for a long time since the PlayStation 1. That was basically that and the Dreamcast, I should say. Some of the first disc-based consoles. And, N64 wanted to work with that, but dropped it. It just seems like for a lot of the other stuff that if it's been reliant for so long, maybe it's, I don't know. Too early to call. I'm not knowledgeable enough about video game hardware or computer hardware in general to say, like, okay, CDs are a thing of the past. Bye-bye. I have no idea. I am still impressed with the technology that the Switch is able to cram several gigs onto a potato chip that big. That is incredible. Because I don't know how they do it, but they make it work. I think we covered it. Meanwhile, I did a bit more sorting of Lego magazines, catalogs, instructions, everything like that. The same stuff I was doing on yesterday's stream, I did more of that last night after the stream that I had on the main channel. Worked out okay. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, do you like the design for the PS5? It's fine. It's a little weird, but it's definitely better than the slab that is the PS4. I am sorry, I do not like that design at all. I like the PS2 Slim version better than that. And that one's just a wedge. It's a wedge of what the PS4 is. But, yeah, the PS5 definitely has more character. It has more style and color to it than most of the other ones for PlayStation consoles in general. I only own a PS2, 3, and 4 right now. I have no reason to get a 1 because I have, backwards compatibility on at least 2 of those systems. So the PS3, the one I have is the George Foreman Grill edition. The one that has like this big hood over it. But I don't know, it's fine. It is a bit chunky though, but it's got something. Video game consoles have always been kind of weird like that. Even the old vintage ones have a weird change of character over time. Like and maybe it's because of the branding behind it as well, that I think a lot of the Nintendo ones seem to work out a lot better. They look a lot nicer, and they get better over time with that cosmetics. Xbox, it is what it is. X blocks. But there is still some things to it. It has rivets on it. It has like the circle around the X itself. It stretches out the X onto the sides of it. It's something. And then you have like the Xbox 360, a couple changes over time. The original one, it was okay. But it looked like if you just reshape the Wii. I don't know. Well, hard to judge because I don't know which one was revealed first, but I think the Xbox 360 came out first and then had a lot of problems. Mine, I don't know what production it was, but I didn't get it at launch, but mine lasted a long time before it had a Red Ring of Death. Even once. I think it only had one or two issues. It wasn't like 3 ring around like the Red Ring of Death. It was like 2 or something, or 1 or something like that, which was able to be fixed and ran a good while after that. And then the Slim looks pretty neat. The Slim and the Xbox One, I keep having a trouble, and PS4 actually, for this matter, the sensitive buttons on the system itself. Too sensitive. Too easy to press at a moment's notice. Just because I put my hand on the system does not mean I want to turn it on or eject a disc or something like that. I have that problem so many times, and I really hope it doesn't wear out the system. That it's turning on and then turning off immediately. PlayStation 4, I actually really dislike the design because there are no buttons on there. There's a sensitive button. It just looks like it's part of the hardware, but it's a button. There's I've always had a problem with trying to load the CDs in just right away because it's hard to see where the slot is. The USB things are kind of like narrow. Look, I'm looking at it across the room right now. It gathers dust like no tomorrow, and I have no idea if that, again, contributes to the fact that it has a loud running fan. Anytime that it's on, when it's doing the most basic stuff, even if I'm not playing a game but just changing options or whatever, it's like this fan over here in my ear, like this like desk fan, which is enormous. I can't even bring it to the screen though. It's nuts. I missed a couple things here. Sorry. I'll wrap this up in just a bit. And by the way, I have a large shirt because it's a pajama shirt. Pajama shirts, I historically have had like an XL or a double XL or something like that, just for the extra coziness. And I usually separate those out from the other shirts. I know that I've had it on camera before, and people will probably think I'm larger than I actually am because it's a large shirt. It's like, nope, it's kind of a smaller guy in here. As Godly Gamer Joey, oh wait, we did that question. CDI is the first and best disc-based console. Oh, the Philips CDI. Forgot about that. Yeah, that happened. I haven't played it. I only just know from hearsay. Ask Godly Gamer Joey. Oh, wait, we did the design for the PS5. Ask Godly Gamer Joey. There we go. Do you have a Switch? I do. I actually did a video, I think, on this channel itself, Maniac for Bricks More, when I got the Switch and the PS4 on the same day. Because I got the PS4 from Facebook Marketplace, so it was a used copy, but it included, I think, an NBA game, and I just exchanged that at GameStop. But it was less than the retail cost. Nothing has been noted from the seller itself that there was like this fan issue. I don't know if that's a standard thing. I still have to look into that. I think I'd looked into it before, but then I forgot what the info was. And then I went to GameStop in order to get a Switch because I was like, there's no way I'm getting a used Switch. It's kind of weird that I have this difference between them, but the fact is, a new Switch, a used Switch, there weren't many out there, and there weren't really a price difference from a new Switch. And with a new Switch, I just felt more comfortable with trying to get that in-store with everything else. Nintendo fanboy, if you may. And Nintendo has definitely been one that I'm the most consistent with the products. PlayStation and Xbox are just kind of like jumping back and forth on when I obtain them or when I, update playing them and things like that. That said, I don't think I can play a lot of Nintendo games on Twitch right now. For whatever reason, I've been told that's usually a no-go. But I can still play some of the games that were on Nintendo consoles on the other ones. I do have other copies of things over time, as I've mentioned before. OG Xbox and GameCube have a lot of character, in my opinion. Yes, GameCube, definitely. I love that. I still don't get the handle. I still don't get how that's supposed to work. So I honestly can't believe that Nintendo thought, you know what? We're gonna bring this to other people's houses. This is so compact of a video game system that people can just lift it up by a handle and bring it to their friend's house with the wires. It's like, if anybody's gonna do that, they're gonna put it in a bag first, so they wouldn't even need the handle. I don't know. I try not to worry about that. But man, I was so hyped when the GameCube came out. That was one of, like, I was very hyped when the GameCube came out, and I was like a slow burn to progressively hyped about the Switch. In between that, all that other stuff, not really sure. The Wii, definitely. Actually, the Wii was a surprise. It was the thing that was like, my brother and I wanted for a while. We were trying to save up money for it, and then our parents surprised us. And it's like, can you come up for a sec? And they just had it in hand, and we were just like, oh, we can play Wii Sports now. We played more than that. I still have a Wii. It's not the original one, but actually, that's the third Wii. You're right. Wow. I've gone through more Wiis. I've gone through Xbox 360s. Xbox 360, I got the arcade edition, which was very small in storage and had Sega All-Stars and Sega Superstar Tennis or something like that. I forget what it was called. That game. And some Xbox Live arcade pack with like a bunch of really small games. So it was fine for a little bit. And then we built the library after that with Lego games, Rock Band, things like that. And it took a long time before I got an Xbox 360 Slim to replace the original one. With the Wii, I went through for a long time before it had a CD reading error that couldn't be fixed, that I didn't know how to fix. So then I traded that console in to get a black Wii, so the Wii Motion Plus era of Wii. It wasn't the Family Edition. It was literally the same thing, but in black, I guess. And I may or may not have lost Wind Waker. That's how it's the maybe canon story. And then sometime after that, I traded in the black Wii to get the Wii U, which also has been published on YouTube somewhere. I did a video about that. And then I went back for an original Wii so that I could have it in 2 different rooms. Because the Wii U, yes, I could use as a Wii system itself. That said, the Wii U does have a limited memory. And I thought maybe I could still use the Wii and a lot of certain games for it and kind of split them up again by having one in the living room and one in my bedroom. So, yeah, that's fine. And that one I only got for like $20 or something. It was, again, a Facebook Marketplace kind of thing. It was already used, but it was fine. They're pretty cheap. GameCube I've had since day one, since I first got it. I want to say around September 2001. I could be wrong. 2002 maybe. Around whatever time it was, I remember getting a Platinum Edition GameCube at Toys R Us. I have like photographic memory of this at this point, and I love that. And I would love to just project that onto a photo, like actual photo out there. And other things. But I got that. It still runs same as it always did. No problems with it. No fixes or whatever. That one was limited edition, Platinum Edition. But it was also the Mario Kart Double Dash version. So when I was at Toys R Us, I saved up money from Boy Scout popcorn sales in order to get some gift cards. And with those gift cards, I was able to get a GameCube. My choice was between a GameCube with nothing, basically, a GameCube with Mario Kart Double Dash, and a GameCube with Metroid Prime. I've never played a Metroid game up to that point, so Mario Kart Double Dash was a shoo-in. I've already played Mario games. I've played Mario Kart. It looked exciting for its capabilities, and I still love that game to this day. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And my parents also helped with getting another controller or two so that my brother and sister would also be able to play. and that's the same GameCube I've always had. I've had the same N64, the same NES. I've had the same. What else? Well, I don't know if I could say same NES. I have two of them, and I don't think either of them were brand new in box versions of them. I know at least one of them came from a flea market, possibly both. And yeah, I gotta do more video game collection videos on this channel. I really want to. I want to try to make this channel more regular as well as the main one. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man as a character? I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite superheroes. I think he's a very adaptable character. He's something that everybody can understand, regardless of age. You know, having multiple responsibilities between... I mean, yes, a lot of superheroes have a lot going on in their personal lives, but for Spider-Man, it's not all done yet, you know? Traditionally, Spider-Man is always shown in high school or college, you know, still figuring out what he wants to do with his life, still, you know, understanding the world, still, that's important stuff, you know? And that's why it's so easy for that character to resonate with people over time. Even people that are in their adulthood, they still figuring out what they want to do with their lives. I'm 25 and still, you know, seeing what the future is. Future, question mark, like the stream. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Mario as a character? He's totally fine. I think he's gotten better. He wasn't as plain as he used to be, but he's still kind of plain every so often in certain games. But you know, I think the games themselves are fine. I think the character is just enough. Like, could be a little bit more, but it's definitely expressive enough that, you know, he's okay. He's good. He's a good boy. Oops, I skipped one. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Dante as a character? I've never played Devil May Cry. Is that the game with Dante? Or is it another game? I'm not sure. I feel obligated to look this up now. As much as I feel obligated to play some of the games that were shown today in one of their previous series iterations. Video game character. Or it could just be from Dante's Inferno. A game, a series or a game I have not played. I have not played Devil May Cry, so yeah, I can't really... I have no opinion on that. Okay, then. Ask Scott the Gamer Joey, do you watch Scott the Woz? Hey, y'all. Scott here. Yes, I do. I have 2 shirts from him from his last charity. I have, I watch almost, like, just as the videos come out. But I think there's one I have to go back for, the Mario Tennis. I'm looking forward to that as part of the therapy saga. I've watched a whole bunch of those videos multiple times because of not only just being entertaining, I really like the flow of them. I really like the video editing style, and I would love to do something. I've wanted to do something like that for a long time before I even started watching Scott the Woz, or really regularly watching him, I should say. But I've never really developed on that. There's a thing that I used to have called Gamecdote, which would be like these little video essay things about my opinions on different franchises or topics in video games, and I never really continued that. There was only like 2, maybe 3 videos about it ever, and I would love to bring that to here. That would be great. But for right now, I could do a lot of the video game collection videos so people can see what I've already owned and mostly played or remembered before those, and very, segmented, breaking them up. If Kevin actually remembers, or if Brian actually remembers, they would still stick a boot up my butt about making a Pokemon retrospective. One of the first ideas that I had for this kind of series that still has not been made. And we're 2 years later? We're a couple of years later. The idea initially came out when Pokemon Go came out. Let's put it that way. As Godly Gamer Joey, do you think there will be a Bionicle game on the PS5? There hasn't been a Bionicle game ever since Heroes? Heroes might have been the last one. So I'm going to say no. It's kind of hard for Lego to develop a game on a franchise that they've already discontinued twice. I mean, they've had video games for Bionicle Generation 2 on in 2015, 2016, but they were either web browsers or apps, and I didn't take to either one of those. I don't think they didn't even make a mobile game, or I shouldn't say mobile game, because I just said that. They didn't even make a handheld game for like the DS or the PSP or something like that. Sorry, they're just not going to continue that. They'll still continue other Lego games, that's for sure. Bradshaw Studio, I know you were here for a while, but thank you for being here. And thank you for all the emojis. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Cloud as a character? Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy. How nice of you to ask me a question on another franchise that I know next to no experience about. At best, I've watched snippets of Final Fantasy gameplay or cutscenes from various games. That's it. Or I've briefly played, although not enough, played Cloud in Smash Ultimate. There are plenty of other Smash Ultimate characters I would like to get into and understand better, not just from their video game aspect, from their history of the franchise, but just the character moves themselves, try out different things. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, can you please friend me on Switch? I think it's on, well, you have Instagram, right? So I have a thing on Instagram where it says, like, add me or follow me or whatever. And there's a bunch of different things about, like, Twitch, Switch, whatever. I don't know if I did it for PlayStation or Xbox yet. I don't know. But, yeah, it should be up there. I'm back while they missed. My laptop just died. No problem. Didn't really miss much. A few more questions. Have you played Smash Brothers? Yes, every one of them except for the 3DS version. I own every one of them except for the 3DS version. I did a series. Albeit some things did not work with technology. I did a series about last year, I think, on the main channel, where I went through every Super Smash Brothers game as Luigi and as Link, which were basically my mains at the time, and right now I just main Link, to see how the gameplay styles change if I develop working with one character rather than the other when playing those. Yeah, I like Smash Brothers. I definitely remember the hype of Melee when it came out, and people playing it a lot back then, even still playing it now. I've played Ultimate many times with other people as well, and both in person and online. It's all good. Although I think, didn't the Wii U have some kind of DLC for extra characters that probably doesn't exist anymore? So I might be a little bummed about that. Let's see. As Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on the AVGN as a character? He's fine. He's hilarious. I like him as a character. And, yeah. I don't know what the magic is. People have said that for long-running content creators, AVGN versus Nostalgia Critic, the fact that the two are versed is kind of odd because it's like, okay, they do share a lot of similar styles, but they still do a lot of stuff on their own, and they're in two different categories. One video games, one movies. But even so, when people love to compare the two over time, they've done crossovers before. That's fun. But for some reason, a lot of people have said that, or at least I keep seeing it pop up, that Nostalgia Critic kind of wore down over time. AVGN still sticking strong. I watched them, maybe not every one of the episodes, But I will say I watch more of AVGN than Nostalgia Critic, and I don't know why it plays out that way. I don't know where people are coming from that it's better with one than the other. But yeah, I still enjoy the AVGN. Ask God the Gamer Joey, what video editing software do you use? I use a mix of iMovie, Cute Cut Pro, and I had one or two others that I'm still experimenting with, but I haven't fully used on video or like for a long time yet. Just kind of like tweaking them, seeing what the features are like. Cute Cut Pro is something that is available for mobile devices, like for your cell phone, and it's really easy for me to overlay a lot of stuff and do very precise cuts. I did used to use Movie Studio Premium on my laptop, but it was a very daunting program as far as even just the most basic stuff. It was very slow, and sometimes it would, between any of those programs, it would sometimes chop audio or chop visuals that I wasn't always happy with. But right now, I stick with mostly iMovie. It's a nice simple one that's easy to add stuff in there. You can add layers to it still, and it renders really fast. Like this, sometimes it takes an hour or two to get something rendered on that. Yeah, Scott the Gamer Joey, do you have Overwatch? I've been dancing around Overwatch for a long time. I know it's very popular. I remember the hype for it. I was, actively watching that and seeing how it played out. But I never really got into it as my own thing. I was kind of confused, and I still kind of am, if it's just online only or if there is a campaign mode to it, because I would actually want to try the campaign before playing online. Actually, staring across the room from me are some Lego Overwatch sets. I did get those just because I like the style of the sets. Some neat pieces in there, unique colors for characters, but I know next to nothing about the game. And I would have done a video about those sets, reviewing them, but it was really long. Like, we're talking 16 minutes about 2 sets. And that's with stickers, without stickers, how it's flowed over time, the quote-unquote decline of Overwatch Lego sets, and I never published that. I still have the footage, but I never published it because I thought this is too boring for anyone to watch, and too boring for me to chop down in editing. So it takes me 2 to 3 times longer than the video as far as just doing the editing work. Probably 3 times longer. The Brick Theory video I had earlier this week had 2 hours, almost 3 hours of editing time, and that was after scripting and recording. Ask God the Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Crazy Dave as a character? Crazy Dave. I'm gonna have to look this one up because I don't know. A Crazy Taxi, it's not a character, but that's something I can at least know of. Crazy Dave from Plants and Zombies. Plants vs. Zombies. I've actually never played Plants vs. Zombies. I've maybe watched some gameplay of it. I don't know about Crazy Dave, though. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, do you want to play Smash later? I don't know. Maybe if I feel like it. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, whoop. And it skipped. Should I just do a Q&A stream? It's funny, I've actually said that in passing on other streams, and I never got Q&A questions. And then I have this, which is not Q&A based, but it just became Q&A based. It's crazy. Now I'm over an hour for this stream. That was going to be we didn't even plan for it to be 23 minutes long. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what percentage chance do you think Bionicle will come back within the next 5 years? And do you think it will be more popular than G2? G2 came back and then crashed and burned almost instantly. So it's very hard for me to say that, even as a fan, that I would want Bionicle back and want it back soon. I feel like if LEGO pursued that same concept, but in a whole nother way, like they did with Hero Factory, have a character building system for your sets, and maybe a couple vehicles or accessories or something to go along with it, but make a new story, new characters, new environment, that would be fine. I wouldn't call it Bionicle. For me, the thing that's keeping Bionicle alive is not only people's memory of it and the previous installments and media about it, but also the fan mocks, because that's probably the biggest new thing forward you can bring, is the fact that you can take this building system and other similar pieces and integrate them together for new possibilities that weren't made originally, and sometimes are better than the original Bionicle sets. I will care to say that there are many more things you can do as custom in Lego in general. There are many things more you can do custom than out of the box with a Lego set. A Lego set can give you the options and sometimes the inspiration for that, but for one reason or another are going to be downsized compared to what a fan can build on their own. So, I really do wish I had gotten more into Bionicle mocking, like in the way that it's done nowadays, much sooner, because I would love to learn more of the custom building. And I've only somewhat over time have started to learn things about how to make Bionicle type hands without just using a single piece that looks like the shape of a hand, or how to make limbs out of multiple pieces and be able to be like unique and sturdy. Using a single Bionicle piece for that is not always going to work. I grew up with making Bionicle mocks, but they were all looked like clutter. They were just a little bit above the level, I would say, of what a combo model would be from a Lego set. So, my building experience with Bionicle isn't as refined as other people's in the community. And that's why I love reposting about them on Instagram story, because they really inspire me. It's like, hey, I follow these people because I really like what they're doing, and I want to try to build more like that. Not steal their designs outright, just try more pieces, try more things. That reminds me, what day is it? It's June 11th. I got a little over a week to enter a contest that involves all these things. So I'm trying to do this rather quickly. Just not this moment. Bionicle Forever. I think it could, because nearly all Bionicle fans would be adults and would have possibly have kids pass down the legend. I think that actually works to its merit. Bionicle by itself, in canon, is a legend. A lot of the sets that are created, a lot of the story that's developed already happened by the time the sets first came out. In that point in history, that's like right here-ish, somewhere in the middle. But there's so much that happened before it. I don't know which way I'm going with this. There's so much that happened before it that later became sets, 2005, 2004, 2005, and even beyond that, other things that showed up later in the present were based on things that happened before. The Baraki are a great example of that, where it's like, these guys were already around before the present. They didn't just birth, So the fact of Bionicle not existing right anymore, and even if you pass it to another generation or half generation later, gives it more of that mystique. Gives it more of that authentic nature to it. That it's like, this used to be a thing, but it was so vast a thing and so stylish a thing that they actually could get into it, even if it's not on the shelves right now. I've shown Bionicle to kids who are, I want to say 6, 7 years old in tutoring classes, kids that were literally my age when I started getting into Bionicle. And they knew nothing of it before me. It was a brand new system to them, but it was something they easily adapted to. and I could tell little bits of the story here and there. So it felt like I became a Turaga, where I was once a Matoran into Toa. I like how that played out, though. Yeah, I do agree that it felt too early to bring it back. Like, it didn't feel refined enough, but they still had a lot of cool things for what it was going for. It did have a good it did have a good form and function, like, hybrid when the 2015 sets came out. I felt like it got weaker with the 2016 wave, though. Maybe a little bit better on the villains. I'm not sure. Guys, Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Luigi as a character? He's my favorite. I like him over Mario. I like green, so I like Luigi. I was a younger brother. A more timid younger brother, always in the shadow of the older one. I relate to Luigi. I mean to do that. That was actually a video idea for Gaming Dota I was going to do a long time ago, and I literally just gave all the footnotes to it right then and there. But I was going to have a video that's titled, like, My Life as Player 1, or My Life as Player 2. And the fact that by growing up with an older brother who also liked video games, I had this element of being a way of a companion for him, but also being in his shadow because he had the privilege of playing a lot of games before I did. You know? I brought Assassin's Creed into our house, and yet he played it before I could. I was the one who got it for my birthday or something, and he played it, like, extensively. And I was waiting for any time that he was going to say, you know what, this is enough for me today. I'll do something else, and then I get the chance to play. That never happened. I would just watch for most of it and lose interest in playing myself because it's like, okay, well, I already know what's going to happen. I don't have to worry about playing this because I see how it went. It was like a live Let's Play, which is not a bad thing, but it is when you're actually want to play the thing for yourself. Right. Can't find the Switch code. I will. You're on. Well, you're on Instagram, right? I'll see if I can send it to you. Why do I keep getting stuck? PS5 looks like a router. Yeah, I agree. It is very weird. Kind of. I felt like it was like hyping it up. PlayStation calling it the future of gaming. A bit pretentious, because is it really much more advanced? Is it really much more graphically enticing? Is it really much more new than what we've already been doing? I feel like we've already gone into the future of gaming, maybe a generation or two back, you know, compared to days of a lot of cartridges or something like that, you know. And online is pretty normal. And, you know, what's your favorite, as Godly Gamer Joey, what's your favorite Minecraft mob? I haven't really encountered that many. I'll tell you my least favorite is between the spider and the skeleton. I probably hate the skeleton more, though, because he has a bow and arrow, and I didn't get to actually make a bow and arrow in Minecraft to defend myself. So my favorite, I would say, if animals count, the animals count too, right? I'd say a cow or a sheep or a pig. Those are fine. They don't hurt me. They're all good. Ice Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on Persona 5? I've never played a Persona game. I think it's a bit of overhype, but again, I don't know what I'm missing. I've heard of the Persona games over time, but now it's like Persona and Overwatch and Skyrim and Grand Theft Auto have very long amounts of time of popularity. Like, more than most games. That's impressive. I know the recent God of War was amazing. I've never played God of War, but I knew that the recent PS4 edition was astounding to many people, but that doesn't get as much love as all these other things. And Persona 5, yeah, I don't know if it's for me. That, and because I watch Relax, I'm kind of just used to hearing it. Because he always throws it a bone in his videos, even if it's not related to Persona 5. But I don't know. I don't have an interest of playing it myself right now. I've only briefly played Joker on Smash, but I haven't tried everything out yet. Ask God the Gamer Joey, do you think there was a chance there was going to be a Hero Factory game? Nope. Same argument as Bionicle. They've dropped the franchise. They've never made anything, recently for that. If there wasn't a game, there wasn't a console game for Hero Factory, ever. Even a handheld, they didn't have one. Mobile, I don't remember if they did. Browser, they had a few, I think. The Hero Factory was kind of strange. It didn't have too many outreaches the way that Bionicle did, even though it ran for several years. But no, they would not have a Hero Factory game if they haven't had Hero Factory as a license in a long time. Licensed properties for gaming are dependent on their initial license. If they're going to keep the TV show, the movie, the toy line, whatever the case may be, if they're going to keep that running with, and you can tell that it's profitable and that it's popular, they could do a video game somewhere down the road. But when you have the video game, you still need to have that property going along in tandem with it, because it's kind of advertising the game too. It's kind of why they dip into this. It's like, hey, we can make a game about Pepsi Man, which is based on a commercial. Everything in the game is Pepsi. Buy our product. It's like product placement, the game. Almost. But sometimes they actually do have something original going on, unlike that example of Pepsi Man. Dude, if they revealed a Pepsi Man 2 on today's PS5 announcement, I would have a whole nother way of looking at this, just because of the meme-age of Pepsi Man. I think that would be great. That looks like a Scooby. Okay. Ask God the Gamer Joey, in Lego lore, is Bionicle and Hero Factory before minifigures were made? Okay. It's really difficult. I've always gone under the assumption that Bionicle and Hero Factory were completely separate, either geographically, astronomically, or just entirely different universe from minifigures. But it's very difficult when you have so many Easter eggs, especially for Bionicle, not as many for Hero Factory, but especially for Bionicle. You have a lot of Easter eggs in minifigure-based Lego sets. You have ones from, I'd love to do a video about this just on its own. All Bionicle references in other Lego sets. I want to do that for Adventurers as well. Like, even since the Haunted House came out. Even since it was launched, really. But, yeah. I don't know at the moment what best fits for Bionicle and Hero Factory. I'm surprised you didn't ask me Lego Lord Joey on that one. But I don't know. It's a tough thing for right now. If you count things like the Lego movie, where they do talk about Bionicle, it could be in a cinematic universe, even though it's only shown up a handful of times in there. It physically showed up in the Lego movie when they had the live action portion. And like for one or two pieces, I think. Hero Factory, I feel like Hero Factory and Bionicle, their own things going on. So it's kind of hard to say if there's one, there's also the other. Yes, and a lot of lore questions that I am not ready to answer. Just because I got back to Brick Theory does not mean I'm 100% on the go with it. I kind of wish I was, but I keep overwhelming myself, and I'm trying to keep the mental health a check. Ask God the Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on video games causing violence? It's a percentage. It's not a large percentage. It's not every person. but it can inspire it depending on the person, depending on the exposure. That's the same thing as TV causing violence or movies causing violence. Any media that you are exposed to for long enough time is going to have an effect on you. Even if it's something short, it could be shocking, but it probably won't inspire you to do something like that. Because they'll still realize that it's a fictional medium. However, there are definitely cases where people say that they learned their experiences from video game use. Famously, Columbine. That's an example that people have cited. Like, people who were involved with Columbine have cited that they played Doom, which is a first-person shooting game with lots of corridors. And what is a high school usually made of? Lots of corridors. So you can definitely transition a couple things here and there, but I don't think it's going to work the same way for everyone, and that it's going to be any effect. Like, I've played Grand Theft Auto a handful of times from 4 to 5, but in stride. And I know that it's still a fictional world, even though it looks like a real world. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and commit crimes. Doesn't mean I'm inspired to take a helicopter that I don't know how to pilot. pick up Bricksmith and just waddle through the air. That's it. Like I said, it has a percentage of people, but not everybody. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, have you seen my comment on your LEGO Dimensions video on how we can bring back LEGO Dimensions? I have not. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm on Insta. Okay. They're not wrong. It is the future of gaming, specifically 6 months in the future. That is true. But usually when some brand, uses that as a tagline, the future of this, it's like, this is a brand new version of it, or a brand new mindset that is separate from what you are in now. It's really not. As Godly Gamer Joey, are we technically living in the future since it's past 2015 now? Yes, we are in the future of Back to the Future. I totally count that. I'm going to have to take Scooby for a walk soon. It'll soon be the present of gaming. There we go. That'll last. As Godly Gamer Joey, is it possible for there to be a new LEGO Batman game? Yeah. LEGO Batman has already been continuing for a while for its own series of games. I don't know if they had a LEGO Batman 4. I think Beyond Gotham was the last numbered one. But they've had DC Supervillains. So, yeah, they will easily have a LEGO Batman game on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Switch, anything after Nintendo decides to throw in. But it's kind of soon for Nintendo actually to throw another console in, because it's only a handful of years ago that they even launched the Switch. They had like this half cycle of the Wii U into the Switch. I don't know if you can hear the barking the way I can, but I'm going to have to head out. Ask Godly Gamer Joey, what are your thoughts on the Slender Man games? Scary at their time. I definitely remember watching them, watching Let's Plays of them, and it had just enough suspense, had just enough. See, dark games can work well with horror, but dark games with action, not always a fan of. But that one worked very well for what it was going for dark games. Bolo, please stop asking questions. I'm trying to head out. I'm 28 minutes longer than the last time that I said I was too long for this live stream to be running. Again, if you want questions, if you want answers, if you have questions, if you want answers, please send them somewhere else. I will answer them some other time when I'm not available for a stream, and I will happily answer them. Thank you. Could there be a LEGO Batman Arkham game? I don't think so. LEGO Batman Batman Arkham games have this level of maturity that LEGO would not really proceed. Even the Telltale games are above what LEGO would normally go for. I mean, I appreciate the questions, but like I said, I'm trying to head out, and I'm trying to do this as nicely, albeit bluntly, as possible. But yeah, I've played personally. I've only played the first Slender Man game, and even so, I don't remember playing all the way through it. Same thing with FNAF. I've only played like the first night of FNAF, but for horror games aren't really my thing. It's been a thing for me to really get into, but I've watched people play horror games. I've watched Markiplier play lots of horror games. And for that, it's almost like watching a horror movie for me. It has more of that kind of appeal instead of me being at the forefront of it. It's kind of on the same argument about the video game violence as opposed to movie violence. You know, the fact that you're in control in a video game, it puts you more in tune with what's going on. You are affecting what's happening around you to a degree. And with horror games, they kind of do the inverse of that. It gives you very little control of what is around you so that everything else is built up by fear and suspense. I don't like that. Let me be doofy and cause my own mistakes that aren't going to give me nightmares. So yeah, I will get back to you, Bolo, as far as the Switch friend code. The problem with Jack and Mark is that their vids are too long with stuff. Well, you can break it down. But that's watching Let's Plays, for me, I thought anything over 10 minutes, like 13, 15 minutes, was too long. But now I can watch those 20-minute videos, no problem. I watched a lot when I used to watch a lot of Minecraft Let's Plays back in the Tobuscus game days, Toby Games, you know, whatever. I used to watch a bunch from Yogscast, like Honeydew, Blue Zephos, you know, that kind of stuff. I've watched one of their like series of Minecraft where it's like a story-driven thing. And it's like really cool and a lot of fun. And those were long videos. And I've same thing with music. Over time, I've pulled myself towards these longer lengths of videos or music that I can handle. And it's just about when to watch them that I try to organize that. Yeah, I always like the smaller thing and just digest it. But the videos themselves have also changed over time. They do more jump cuts in between things. It used to be a much more rare thing. You just have like the straight up gameplay footage, but you also had a lot of lulls in between them. So they chopped up a lot of it so you could add a lot more in that same period of time. The design is fire, right? If you want it to be. So thanks for watching. Thanks for an hour and a half of footage of talking about all kinds of video game stuff. I'll try to do this sometime later. And have a good day.